My name is Mary Black, and my husband Charlie and I have been married for 33 years. We have 4 sons, and they are now all young adult men. We were always involved in our faith formation of our children from the very beginning, even within our parish where I volunteered for 5 years teaching religious education to the elementary age. Then, as our kids grew older, I shifted into middle school and high school, but I also was on staff for the last 10 years in confirmation programs in the Dallas Diocese. And it has taught us so much in reflecting on what parents are going through. So many of the comments that we heard that parents struggle with is, I don't know how to parent in this day and age. My kids, my teenagers don't want to go to church. They don't want to go to mass. They think it's boring. And my favorite is, how can I make my kids holy? Like I can't. And all of those struggles are struggles that Charlie and I went through. And reading the story of Chiara Badano showed us so much of how her parents had a relationship with her. When she was younger, they offered her advice. They didn't demand it, but they offered it. What did you think about this? What do you think about that? Until as she got into her early teens, they gave her space. They even allowed her to just deal with the pain on her own, not even saying a word. But they were united with her. And this gave us great insight as to how we could also raise our boys and have that relationship with them. And in the confirmation program that I have been involved with in the last 10 years at 3 different parishes, I have found the same thing. How do you explain the Holy Spirit? How do you explain the manifestation of the Holy Spirit in our lives, in an everyday occurrence? Yes, we explain the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit, but do we show them concrete ways of how it can be manifested in our lives? I urge you, if you are a volunteer or on the core team or heading these confirmation programs, I urge you to read the story of Chiara Badano. It's incredible. It shows how her effort was weaved into God's grace in helping her take the next step. We can't become saints on our own, but it shows you a beautiful way of Chiara's effort that she gave in starting again, in looking for ways to love others. And the next step was grace. You can tell it's not on her own. These graces had to come from God, but it was a beautiful way of showing how God works in our lives when we allow him. And one of the crux teachings of the Catholic Church is redemptive suffering. I don't know the last time I heard a homily on it, much less teaching in our confirmation programs. But redemptive suffering is such a vital part of our Catholic teaching. Again, Chiara shows us the most beautiful way of how to live redemptive suffering. It's not explained in words intellectually, but our confirmation candidates get it when we explain it with a story. And Chiara's story is worth hearing, and it's worth teaching. It will bring us closer to God, and it will bring your confirmation program to a new level in sharing her story in retreats or in everyday classes. We can do this together. We can live Chiara's story together.